This is a follow-up to the openSUSE Tumbleweed installation video where I'll be showing you a few post-installation steps such as installing the NVIDIA drivers in case you have a NVIDIA graphics card, updating the kernel parameters in case you did not delete the word quiet during the installation, updating the number of password tries required to decrypt the root or the home partition, updating the battery threshold for ASUS laptops, and finally, to update Multimedia Codecs from the Packman repository. I'll show you how to install the NVIDIA drivers using a graphical user interface. We will be using the package manager Myrlyn, which is a replacement of YaST. For that, click on the Windows button or the application launcher, navigate to System, scroll until you see Myrlyn. You'll see two options there, Myrlyn and Read Only. Click on Myrlyn, enter the login password. Wait for the initializing repositories action to complete. You'll see a bunch of tabs there. Click on the repositories tab and look for either NVIDIA or repo-non-OSS. If you had the internet enabled during the Tumbleweed installation, the repo non-OSS should automatically have been loaded and you should see it in the options. If you do not, then you can skip to the next section. Otherwise, follow these steps to add a repo. For that, click on Extras, Configure Repositories. At the bottom, you'll see Add. Click that. You should see a custom repository and community repository option there. Click on the Community checkbox. And at the bottom or in that list, you should see NVIDIA there. Click that and then click OK. For any reason, if you do not see NVIDIA there in the community repository, click on Custom Repository. In the name, type in NVIDIA where it says raw URL. Copy and paste the link that I provided in the description below. Once done, click OK. You will notice near the close button that a restart is required. The restart is to restart the application, not the system. Open Myrlyn again following the same steps we did earlier. Before we actually select any packages to install, we'd first have to check which graphics card we have. To do that, open a terminal, type in inxi space -a capital G. Please follow the sentence casing accordingly. When you hit enter, you'll get to see a list of devices. Check if you have NVIDIA there. Make a note of the graphics card name because the next thing we will do is go to the NVIDIA site itself and check which is the latest driver package that's available on Linux for that graphics card. I've shared the link in the description. Navigate to the NVIDIA site. On this page, you need to select the product category, series, and the product itself. And under operating system, select Linux 64-bit and then click find. So grab the first three numbers of the driver version from the recommended/certified tab. That is the number we will use on the openSUSE wiki page for NVIDIA drivers to confirm which series of drivers we need to download. So if you navigate over to the openSUSE wiki, and if you see the 595 driver version is associated with the G07 series driver. Now back to Myrlyn. The easiest way is to actually just search for the NVIDIA package. So click on the search tab and in the search box, type in NVIDIA and hit search. You should be able to get a list of all the NVIDIA drivers. If you do not see it, make sure that the search in parameters on the left hand side includes name, summary, description. All these three should be checked. And the search mode, change it from auto to contains. And then search again. When you see a list of all the different NVIDIA driver packages that are there, the one that we are currently looking for is the G07 package. Now you can search with G07 rather than NVIDIA, but in this particular case, I just wanted to show you that there are different packages available. For the G07 series, at least, the one that we're looking for is the NVIDIA Open Driver G07 signed KMP default. That's a mouthful, but this is the package I would recommend. I use the Open driver because it's offered by the openSUSE team. In practicality, it means a slightly delayed update, but it plays well with whichever kernel you have. So you will notice that the package comes in two options. One is the KMP-default and the other one is the KMP-long-term. It refers to the kind of kernel you currently have running. If you follow the same installation steps from my earlier video, chances are you still have the default. If you've changed from the default to the long-term support kernel, then please select the KMP-long-term package. Now in this case, I'm going to select the G07 series. To reiterate, please select the correct series based on what you have seen in the NVIDIA openSUSE wiki page. Once you select the package, you will notice the dependent package is also being selected. Go ahead and hit accept. You will be prompted with terms and conditions. Since this driver package is proprietary, you need to accept the terms and conditions before you can proceed. Go ahead and click accept. You will be able to see a list of all the dependent packages that are going to be installed. Go ahead and click continue and wait for the installation to complete. It'll take a while to download all the packages, install, and run post-installation scripts. Once it is done, you should be able to see a finish button. Click that, and before you proceed to do anything else, like install any other applications and so on, please go ahead and restart the system. Once you restart the system and log back in, the way I would usually confirm whether the graphics card has been detected or not, I would open the KDE system settings, scroll all the way down to the system section and select about the system. You should be able to see a graphics processor 1, which is the integrated graphics on your motherboard, and the processor 2, which should be your discrete graphics card. Since I do not have two discrete cards, my understanding is that with the latest KDE version, you should be able to see both the cards, but I cannot confirm that. In this section, I'll be showing you how to update the kernel parameters. This will be done in the command line file. So we will use the nano text editor, which can be run in the terminal. So once you access the file, you will have to enter the kernel parameters at the end of the line, add a space and add whatever parameters you want. Separate each parameter with a space. In this example, I'm showing you how to delete the word quiet in case you have not done it during the installation. In fact, I'm not going to show you any particular use cases because during the installation, the necessary parameters would be fed in. You can update this in particular use cases as required. Once you made the updates, type Ctrl X to exit. You will be prompted to save the file. So you can type yes or no if you want to save or not respectively. The final step is to update the bootloader. The command is update-bootloader. So in this section, I'll be covering how to update the number of password tries. When you log in and you enter your password to decrypt the root or the home drive, the default number of tries is unlimited, which is not a good practice. I changed that to anywhere between 5 and 7. To update the password tries, we need to update the cryptab file. So using the sudo nano command, look for cr_root line, go to the end of it, type in comma, without a space, type in tries equal to the number of password tries you want. So to close the file, type Ctrl X and then type yes to save the file and exit. Whenever I make updates to the kernel parameter, or in this case the cryptab file, I run the trackit regenerate all command just to be on the safe side. If you enter the incorrect password too many times during boot, I don't think you will be prompted stating that you exceeded the number of tries, so you will have to reboot the system and come back to the password prompt. Entering the incorrect password too many times will not lock you out of the system. In this section, I'll be covering the battery threshold. Now, KDE has an option where you can change the battery threshold in its system settings. However, because of a specific quirk in ASUS laptops, we'll have to do this in a roundabout way. We will be creating a systemd service file which runs on boot and keeps checking whether the battery is at a specific point or not, and then cuts off the charging. So we will be creating a systemd system service file. We'll be using the nano text editor. So open a terminal. So use the sudo nano command to create a new file. You can name the file whatever you want. I'm going with battery-threshold.service. And just make sure that you use the same naming convention that I have used. Copy and paste the entire content into this file. I think this is a good place to plug the Patreon. I am providing a cherry tree notebook file with all of these commands, including instructions and screenshots. So if you find value in these videos and if you'd like to support the channel, I would recommend you head on over to my Patreon page and subscribe. So to change the battery threshold, where it says echo, you can change the value to 60, 70, 80, 90, depending on your choice. So to clarify, changing the battery threshold helps improve your battery's overall life. Type Ctrl X and Y to save and exit. Now finally, we have to enable the service so that it runs in the background. For that, we will need to type in sudo systemctl enable, type in the name that you use for the service, and hit enter. If you want to check the status, you can use systemctl status followed by the service name. For you to check if the change has stuck, go to the system settings, go over to power management, click on configure advanced settings, and check what the charge limit is. So it clearly says stop charging at whatever limit you set it at. In this section, I'll be showing you how to install Multimedia Codecs. You may experience issues playing videos either on Firefox or on VLC or whichever media player you decide to install, because the codecs are not readily available in openSUSE or Tumbleweed because of the proprietary nature of those drivers. So in order to install them, we will have to, again similar to the NVIDIA graphics driver, we have to add a repository which contains these proprietary drivers. Just like the NVIDIA repo, we need to add the Packman repo. To do that, we will be using the Myrlyn package manager. Click on Windows button and search for Myrlyn, or go to the system section and scroll until you find Myrlyn. Click on it, add your login password. Navigate over to the repo section and see if you see Packman there. It's highly doubtful you will. So select extras, configure repositories. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see add. Click that. You will see custom repository and community repository options there. Select the community repository and see if you see Packman and Packman Essentials there. I would recommend selecting Packman because it has all the necessary packages, and click OK. You'll be prompted to restart the application. Do so. Now, in case you do not see Packman listed in the community repository, you will need to click on Custom Repository, type in Packman in the name section, and in the raw URL section, add the link that I provided in the description below, and click OK. Here as well, you'll be prompted to restart the application. Once you restart the application or once you open Myrlyn again, go over to the Repo tab. You should see Packman listed there now. Click on that, and you'll get to see all the listed packages there. In this case, ffmpeg may already be installed during the installation process, but I'll show you how to select the one from Packman. If ffmpeg is not installed, go ahead and click the checkbox next to it. Else, click on ffmpeg. At the bottom, you'll see a list of different tabs like description, technical data, and so on. Click on the versions tab. You will see a list of apps there. You'll see a couple of apps from the x86-64 architecture. You'll see a couple from another. The key thing here is you will see one from the Packman repo and another from the main repo. If you see the main repo app selected, change the selection to the Packman repo with the x86-64 architecture and click Accept. By default, the dependent packages will change vendors or versions when you click Accept. Go ahead and let all the packages get installed and click Finish. Now, when you open a video file in the media player, it should work normally. You can get more information about this directly from the openSUSE wiki. I'll leave a link in the description below. So those were some of the post-installation steps. I will be coming up with another video to show you how to install applications where I'll be covering the different ways to do it, where we will be using the graphic user interface, which is Myrlyn and Discover. We'll also be using the terminal to show you how to update and install applications. So until then, I hope you have a good one.